I think everything's
Oh, did
working.
I share it? I didn't. I shared it the other day.
Ah, wow. Okay. Well, I shared it the other day too. Um, I shared it a little bit today, but it looks like it's just you and me so far, which is
Mm. The same thing as every week.
as per usual. But you
Mm.
look pretty, and your
So
apartment's coming along.
it is. I have like a black thing. It's coming along. I'm finally in the bedroom. We're not sleeping on the couch anymore.
Well, that's good. It's better for your back for sure.
Although last night was the first night I slept in here. Yeah, better for my back. Yes. Actually, no. Well, not really.
You like the couch better?
Yeah. Well, the other one likes the couch better because it's a cheese.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're getting settled in. Takes me about a year when I moved to get settled in. In the case of South Carolina, it took 25 years to get settled.
I don't understand how everything in that apartment fit, and now I'm here, double the size, and everything's overflowing. I don't know what to do.
Well, yeah, you just have to figure out your placement of everything. But we have four people with us tonight so far. Wow, we're
Your mother.
exploding. And
Hi,
one of
Grandma.
them is Grandma Joe. Hi, Mom.
Hi. Oh, it says it. Okay.
Wow.
Apparently, I did share it today. Yeah, I don't know. It's on my wall.
Well, that's good. Well, while we wait for everybody else, you know what time it is.
A half inch means a lot sometimes.
This pumpkin latte sucks, and I want to speak to your manager.
How much is the economy today? Oh, it's that much.
Objection, hearsay. Objection, leading. Objection, hearsay.
Where is that woman when Biden speaks?
My ruler, it's inside.
Ah, you got to go find all your props. Ah, we have our OG with us. Hello, Lucille.
Oh, Lucille. I'm mad at Lucille.
Why? Because she's in Atlantic City?
No, because Lucille was supposed to come to karaoke
Oh.
on Friday.
Oh.
She didn't answer my text message back.
Well, maybe she was in Atlantic City, not winning, but going to great dinners.
No? What, does she live there now?
Well, I'm just impressed that the OG has signed in to watch us from Atlantic City. Well, at least maybe we'll save you some money for a couple of minutes, Lucille. Oh, well, we don't know where the rest of the crew is,
Oh,
but at any rate, what's that?
I was talking to my grandmother. Lucille, why aren't you answering me?
Because you're trying to shame her for not going to karaoke.
Well, we had too much fun Thursday.
Did you have fun?
Thursday.
Oh, you and Lucille.
I got dragged from unpacking. So the group got wasted. So missed your text. Oh, that was the problem Thursday. Somebody that we both are friends with. Had a lot of fun Thursday and Friday.
Oh, well, that's, that I have learned as I mature that it takes me longer to recover from a wasted night of debauchery than it used to. I used to be able to get drunk and go right to work and come back home and have some more wine, but not anymore. Well, Jen, and everybody out there, Thursday, Sean Hannity is having a live broadcast and in the Midtown Studios in Manhattan. So if anybody is interested in going, you can send me a message or text me if you have my number. Otherwise, DM me and I will give you the information. Doors open at 7:30 and close at 8. The show is at 9 and it's live. Sean Hannity is a great broadcaster, and my friend works for him, so she helps me by giving me tickets for people who are interested. So if you're interested, just DM me and I will tell you how to get your tickets. They're all free. Hello, Martin Lee. Yeah, it is Remauro time, so thank you for joining us, Martin. So, Jen, this week, all right, tonight's the big State of the Union address after our show, 9 o'clock.
Right.
Are you going to watch it?
I don't know. You know what I say? Yeah. I don't even watch this show. You think?
Well, you and about 60 billion other people don't watch this show. Teresa's with us. Hi, Teresa. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Well, how many of you out there are going to watch the State of the Union address? And what do you think Joe Biden is going to say?
Lots of
stuttering, yeah.
Lots of stuttering.
And what else?
I have no idea what he could possibly say that's going to be better than what he's been saying. It's worse or better or whatever. What do you talk about? The migrants?
Oh, no, he'll never talk about the migrants.
Well, he can't talk about the economy being good because eggs are $8 a dozen. He can't. What is he going to talk about?
Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that he is going to talk about the economy. On Friday, a jobs report came out, and it was really good. Unemployment at 3.2%. And so he's been touting that. Angela says she'd rather watch paint dry.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so he's going to hang his hat on that, and he's telling everybody that because of that great jobs report, this is the way they do it, the Dems, especially the Biden Dems, because I'm going to start calling them the Lion Biden Dems because no truth comes out of any of their mouths, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But this is what they do. They tell you every single day on all his social media accounts, in the news, whatever, how great the economy is going. So you at home think, well, maybe it's just me.
Where are the fact checkers for that?
If they're gone, the fact checkers are obliterated.
Like, no.
So he puts out all these lies and nobody says crap about it. And
what are they measuring it against? The unemployment rate during COVID?
Well, then
of course it's better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's a lot of the economists are saying that the job growth is false because we had lost so many jobs, during COVID that now people are going back to work. Yes, that's right, Teresa. Everybody's unemployment ran out.
Let me tell you something. One of our tenants in North Carolina, I was talking to her and she needed assistance and she called Gastonia. She's a mom of 3 and she couldn't pay rent. She was behind. And I said, listen, why don't I help you get on assistance? I gave her the contact and they made her go through everything. They called her today and she called me crying. We ran out of money. It's February 6th.
No.
She called me. There's illegal immigrants and they're mother of 3, hardworking woman who still will give $200 when she can't pay rent. And I said, let me help you. They ran out of money. It's February 7th. It's February 7th.
Well, they'll blame that on the Republicans, too, because they blame everything on the Republicans. If it's bad, it's the Republicans' fault. If it's good, like Joe Biden, when the gas was going up, he said that he had no control over gas. But as soon as the gas went down, he said it was
up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now he's still claiming it went down $1.50. And so, he made gas go down.
Yes.
So,
yeah, get a global crisis going on, deplete everything in the world, and make everything skyrocket. And then when it gets better, take full credit for it.
Yep. Meanwhile, he tapped into all of our reserves, our gas reserves, and so now if they replace it, they're replacing it at $3.50 a gallon instead of the $1.20 a gallon it was under Trump. When they got it.
And also with his electric car theory, they did a huge study and the facts came out that to get your electric car to keep it going costs more than a gas car. They figured it out.
Oh, really? Where was that published?
It was a notable. It wasn't like off of stupid BuzzFeed or anything. It was like the Today or something like that.
Oh, okay.
They did a whole study because like Joe has one, he has to plug it in, he has to pay for it.
Yep.
You have to pay for that stuff and you have
Absolutely.
to do it quite often. And it doesn't last as long, and the car is more expensive than a regular car that takes gas anyway.
Right.
So they did a whole study and it wound up being that it's a little bit more money than gas cars.
Well, but that little bit more money is going to save the environment.
Polar bears.
It's not going to save the environment. Well, look we've got a whole situation where we got whales, washing up on shore because the generator, the wind turbines that they're doing offshore, they use the same sonar that the whales, it's on the same frequency that whales use to communicate. So these whales are, hitting into rocks and killing themselves, and they're washing up all over the place. And Greenpeace, who made its bones by trying to protect the whales in 1970s, is now saying that it's a casualty of something that's necessary.
Yeah, that's going to be all the Republicans. We're going to be the whales because of them spewing their bullshit and us listening to it all. We're going to start going into rocks and hitting our head in walls, and we're all going to be extinct, and they're going to get their way.
Hi, Mickey. How are you? Teresa says that the fact checkers are now working in Facebook because she's in jail every other week. Well, I have to say, I am the only conservative that's not been in Facebook jail yet, but I'm waiting.
I haven't. Wait, no, they take my post down. Twitter has totally shadow banned me.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm back.
But Facebook, I haven't been in Facebook jail
yet. They
yet.
Permanently shadow banned me forever, and then they took it back and told me I could come back in 6 months.
Well, I remember when you had to give them your driver's license to try and get your Facebook page back.
Oh yeah, I never got that back, but that was my fault. That was my own fault.
Oh,
I did something dumb.
I thought they did something. Well, anyway, so today's show's called Up, Up, and Away because the lies just keep on expanding and expanding, getting bigger and bigger and bigger until they amount
to the Chinese spy balloon.
And whether it's coming from the military or coming from the media or our elected officials, it's hard to figure out who's telling the truth. So we're going to start the show today with the Fauci Award for Gullible People that goes to General Van Herk, who is the head of NORAD. And NORAD is, when you're looking for Santa Claus on Christmas Eve, NORAD puts, the Santa Claus tracker out. Well, NORAD's job is to track everything in the sky. And he was around during the Trump administration. He's around now. And yesterday, during a briefing on Capitol Hill, he said that the Chinese spy balloon this time is not the only one. He only just discovered at the beginning of the Biden administration that 3 such balloons traversed the United States under Trump. Not for as long and not for as close, but they traversed the United States under Trump. And before this one other traversed the United States under Biden. And he didn't think that it was a threat. So he didn't bother to report it. And not only that, but with this spy balloon, he said it showed no clear and present danger to us. It was not acting hostilely. So he thought it was best to wait until it got over open water to shoot it down. Now, it was on open water when it came into our airspace in the Pacific. So why did they let it traverse the whole United States before they shot it down? So here's our Fauci Award. Watch.
The Fauci Award for Gullible People.
Good morning. Amid strong Republican criticism of how President Biden has handled the Chinese spy balloon, the administration says China did the same thing 3 times during the Trump administration. This morning, Navy divers urgently trying to recover what's left of a now destroyed Chinese spy balloon after it spent days traversing the U.S. A fighter jet striking the balloon Saturday with a missile. China accusing the U.S. of, quote, excessive reaction to the balloon, claiming it was a civilian airship. President Biden ordered the balloon to be shut down as soon as it posed no risk to people on the ground. After former President Trump left office, authorities discovered that China used spy balloons over the U.S. at least 3 times during the Trump administration. Former Trump administration officials, including Trump himself, have denied the claims.
Those balloons that go like this? Those are probably spy balloons from China. They're probably like, all right, those stupid Americans. They want one of these dumb pencil-looking things in their car lot? You'll see.
Every time I see one, I think of Biden. I think of Biden falling up the steps.
Oh, look who it is. It's Tom. It's Cop Tom.
Oh, Cop Tom is with us. All right. He's a celebrity. He said it never happened during the Trump administration. That's right. All of them said it never happened during the Trump administration. Yeah, what a crock of shit. Well, here's the thing. According to Van Herk, nobody knew but him. He was the only one that knew. He didn't tell the Secretary of State. He didn't tell the Secretary of
Nobody could keep
Defense
a secret like that.
He didn't tell the commander in chief. He just kept it to himself because he didn't think it was a big deal. Now, I don't know. Would you call that treason? I would call that treason. This guy, I hope McCarthy, I hope they court-martial him, first of all, for withholding that information and making that decision on his own. And second off, I hope that McCarthy holds hearings on this, because how long has this been going on?
He's like, oh, a balloon. Oh, COVID.
Well, that's it. They changed their stories a million times. First, it was an unnamed official that said it happened under Trump. And so the lunatic left, grabbed onto that and was yelling at everybody. At least Biden's, shot it down. Trump did nothing. And then when Trump and everybody said they didn't know anything about it, they had no choice but to say, oh, it was only discovered during the Biden administration that this had happened during Trump.
You don't think that he thought he was doing a good thing by saying that, and then when Trump said this didn't happen he tried to make it look like Biden's a hero, it backfired?
Yeah,
because that's what I'm saying. Maybe it didn't happen at all, and except for now.
Well, I agree. I want to see the proof.
Now it backfired. Because come on, are you serious?
Well, and that's exactly what happened. It went
it's like
from
sleeping on the job 20 times at Walmart. You're gonna get fired.
Well, it went from an unnamed official to then, Trump didn't know, when everybody denied it. And then it went to Van Herk actually going on the record and talking all about it and putting his name out there and saying that he didn't think it rose to the level of need to know for the president of the United States or the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary of State or anybody in Trump's cabinet or anybody in Biden's cabinet for that.
But we talk about a snowstorm for 13 days before it hits us.
Eggs and milk and butter and right, exactly. But we're not going to talk about
meteors are like 95 billion miles away that are probably not going to hit us at all, and we need to know about it.
Right.
You've got to scare the shit out of everybody.
Well, I'd like to know what changed that he decided then to shoot it down, right? Because when it first was discovered, it wasn't discovered because the military told us about it or NORAD. It was discovered because the people in Montana saw it, and the newspapers in Montana saw it, and they were like, what's going on? And so it spread like wildfire, and then the administration had to kind of flub it off. Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing.
These are probably the UFO sightings everyone's been seeing for the past 50 years. I'm telling you, they're Chinese spy balloons.
Maybe. Well, the latest was he didn't say why he decided to shoot it down, but he did say that his concern was if they shot it down, it might have had contained explosives or another like COVID that could spread. If it got shot.
Why didn't they hook it? Like we were saying, hook it and bring it. It's a balloon.
Thanks, Chris. I think he's talking to you, Jen. You look so pretty. I look old and washed up.
Jody.
Hi, Jody. It was China bringing back Hunter's laptops. That's why he shot it down. Oh, speaking of Hunter's laptop, we've got some information on that. But speaking of treason, did you hear that today, what did they call it? So, Trans Lives Matter, a new organization, stormed the Oklahoma Capitol building. I'm sorry, not today, yesterday, and then occupied it as they protested a bill that would ban children from having gender-altering surgery. So very similar to what happened in Michigan and what happened on January 6th. Watch.
I wouldn't call that storming a Capitol. I mean, they sat there with signs and, you know me, I always play both sides of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
How did they get in? Did they break windows? What did they do?
Yeah, well, they were outside and they stormed in, and they
The doors
occupied the
open,
Capitol.
they walked in and they occupied it. Like the Pussycat Girls did in the Capitol yeah.
Exactly. So, see, in my opinion, that is their right, right? Their right is
exactly.
to protest that way.
They weren't hanging off the building, kicking in the windows, and had pipes and crates, as we all saw. So,
what you mean in January 6th?
Stormed in. Oh yeah, all those photos.
All those photos.
No.
Well, you and I saw it. Did we see that?
We saw one side of the Capitol. We were on the good side. We were not on the bad side. Do you remember when we were by the reflection pool? Do you remember when we were watching the news and we're like, where is this? It was the bad side of the Capitol.
I understood.
So they stormed in the Capitol, I would say.
And they walked in an orderly fashion through red ropes. And all through the whatever in the Capitol. I guess what I'm trying to say is that
I'm not going against you. I'm going against the news outlets of how they exaggerate things.
Exactly. No, and you could go against me. That's what the show is all about. But I'm just laughing because all the news media covered this as absolutely a peaceful protest, and maybe it was. I mean,
we were peaceful on our side of the Capitol. So we were, again, that was very peaceful. We were doing exactly what they were doing. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. But
and we're not arrested, so we didn't storm.
And now also when it happened up in Michigan, same thing, peaceful protest, no kicking in windows, no cops, no pipe bombs, no that stuff. All those people are now in jail. The FBI are holding them all on treason. But this group, that's their absolute right to protest, and absolutely that's their house, that's the people's house. They are citizens, and they should be allowed in there, and they should be allowed to protest in there. But while people are drawing the similarities between the Capitol and Michigan and this, the liberal news media is saying, "Oh, it's nothing the same."
Well, you got hurt. But again, now I would take the BLM protests and the George Floyd marches. That I would have an issue with. They said there was nothing wrong. It's peaceful. They did say peaceful. Does it just happen? We're peaceful. No, they were not. They weren't. Listen, our side is like their side. We didn't go in. We didn't go near the building, but it was the same kind of thing. You go in, you hold the sign, and you just
that's right.
You don't go into chambers. You didn't steal stuff. That's fine. You didn't storm the Capitol. But why don't you compare stuff to not January 6th, George Floyd,
That's it.
Get rid of January 6th because the George Floyd, more cops were hurt then. You combine them all and.
Yep, absolutely. I agree with you. So I just thought, the height of hypocrisy and the news media and their lies and their spin, just interesting. That if you check it out, you'll see that nobody is condemning them, and everybody is tongue in cheek saying,
well, you can't condemn them because then you'll be called a racist, everything in the book.
Well,
homophobe.
Right. Well, but it's okay to condemn it when it's the Republicans, or the conservatives or whatever. Or
they can condemn us and they can call us names. And then when we say something, we're bullies, we're this or that. But when they spew things that you couldn't imagine saying to us.
Well, but worse is that there are people in Michigan who are still in jail from that protest. There are hundreds of people in jail awaiting trial for January 6th. Some people who weren't even there, but were considered masterminds, have been arrested and are in jail for January 6th. And of course, Trump continues to be lambasted for it. My opinion, these houses are the people's houses, and the people are absolutely allowed in, absolutely allowed to protest, absolutely to disrupt allowed to disrupt proceedings. When
Everyone's living in glass houses.
well, yeah, don't these people work, says Gloria. Welcome,
No.
Gloria. I don't know if I said hello to you. You would think that the new jobs Biden. Yeah, right. All those new jobs. Okay. So how do you like the awards show the other night? I didn't watch. Thanks.
I did.
God.
I
Yeah,
loved
go ahead,
it.
Jen.
No, the Super Bowl is not going to be able to top their halftime show. I never watch the Grammys fully through. I usually say something, get mad, shut it off. We sat and we watched the whole entire thing, and I actually had chills during their main event. It was Madonna looked hideous, but other than that,
You mean the Satan worshiping?
No, that wasn't the halftime show. The halftime show had Wu-Tang. It was all the 90s hip hop and late 80s came out, like Mary J. Blige, Wu-Tang, Cool, like not Coolio. Everybody that I grew up with were on that stage singing together. And then Stevie Wonder performed with I don't know the guy, he's a country singer. The musical performances were out of this world. Whoever put the Grammys together this year is a genius.
Pfizer sponsored it.
No, there's one person that's held accountable for putting all of this
But
together.
did you see the Satan worshiping?
It wasn't Satan worshiping. First off, you all know that guy because he sings one of the songs that everybody loves. It's a slow song. It's the Grammys. People have dressed up like meat. People come like it's the Grammys. They weren't Satan worshiping.
It sure looked like they were. And if you looked at the lyrics of that song, it sure looked like they were Satan worshiping, and that we're reenacting a Satan worship. And listen, art is art, and
Madonna did it all the time. So she did S&M and all like bondage and beating.
Yeah, but that's different than Satan worshiping. I mean, that was just over the top in my 2 cents.
See, stuff like that doesn't bother me. It's not real. It's music. It's an act.
Hi, Cynthia.
Listen, what's Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a bat, in concert. These things.
Yeah, exactly.
Did that change everybody's world?
Well, it's art. Understood. I get it. It's art. But when was the last time that you saw, a performance that had a religious undertone to it? When was the last time that you had anything with it? In other words, we're going so far down the rabbit hole that that this is becoming normal now, and this is
going backwards. I think in the 80s you had O'Connor who did it. She ripped the thing of the Pope. You have Madonna. She did in the sexy thing, dressed as a nun, and then ripped her clothes off.
That was Papa Don't Preach.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, even with Sinead O'Connor, she ripped this thing of the Pope in half.
Yeah,
it's going backwards. History repeats itself, and we're back in that rebel. The 80s, everyone was rebellious. Early 80s, rebellious, didn't care. They were against everything.
Right.
I think it's just back to where it is. We're older now, and we're just old people that are like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. But we lived it. You lived it. I just lived it because you were living it.
Well, listen, I lived it too. I was a Kiss fan, and so there was always those connotations. But it's becoming so much in your face nowadays.
Well, everything is in your face. Yeah.
It's just
yeah. But I think about it, and I'll say it, and then I'll let it go. When I think about it, and I keep saying, oh my God, they have blue hair, there's gauges, there's this, there's that. I can't believe how they look, and they want to be accepted. Then I look back at the 80s, and the Grammys made me realize it. 1985, 6, and 7, everybody looked like that. Those, like, if you watch Pretty in Pink, those kids were the ones, the poor kids. They had the grunge rocker look, and nobody wanted to talk to them. Absolutely. They were the losers, the horrible people. We're back there now.
That's right. They're reenacting it. I think there was a difference, maybe the difference, I think, is that in the 80s
they were mean, like to you.
Right. It was like they were
the regulars, the regs were mean to them, and they never retaliated. Really, it would take a lot.
Right. They were the goth, but they were the people that they were play acting, but nowadays it's going to the extent that these kids are, cutting off their chests and making new pronouns and not even
My new pronoun is
and
Beyonce.
denying.
If anyone looks at my Instagram,
What's that?
my new pronoun. My pronoun is Beyonce on my Instagram.
You're identifying as Beyonce. Well, talking about identifying, watch this. This is the Gen Z who had to go to work, and this one works at Starbucks. Watch.
People wonder why we need a union at Starbucks, and I am literally about to quit. Like, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but like, I really want to. I almost walked out today, and I'm crying in the back room right now, and I almost cried on the floor. It's just, I'm like a full-time student. I get scheduled for 25 hours a week, and then on weekends they schedule me the entire day, open to close. I'm on the schedule for 8.5 hours, both Saturday and Sunday. I'm like 3.5 hours into my shift. There's so many customers, and we have 4 people on the floor all day. Only 5 people were put on the schedule, and somebody had to call out. And there are 4 people running the whole store, and there's so many customers, and there's possibly scheduled 5 people. They don't want to help us. We need a union because this can't happen. This can't happen. We need fair scheduling. We need managers to hold themselves accountable for helping their workers. They refuse to turn mobile orders off. We need the liberty to be able to do that because there's so many mobile orders and I need to get through all of them, and then people are yelling at me because they don't have their orders ready and they don't know what to do. I can't do it. And a customer was misgendering me today, like really badly. I didn't have their order ready, and so they were just like talking like each other, and they're like, she's clearly incompetent. I have a full mustache and beard. What the fuck?
Well, you have a half a beard because it's missing here. No. You had enough time to make that ridiculous video that has now become my new porn. Then you're not that labored. Relax.
But he's scheduled for 25 hours a week,
And
one of them
is 8 hours? No, it's not.
one of those days is 8.5 hours. They needed
working 18 hours a day. You know what? This is button. I haven't pressed.
Hashtag dumbass. Stop squeezing me, you moron. I'm pissed.
So is him.
Oh my god! Oh my god! We got 2 shut up buttercups.
And the phone was ringing. He had to go pick it up. He's like, "Hello, son."
So I think that's the difference. The problem is that when you were a kid, when I was a kid, you could see all that crap and all this outrageous stuff, and you still had a moral center. You still had values. Your parents slapped the shit out of you.
I was lucky enough to be raised by parents that were before that era. You were right there. I had the disco era parents.
Well, I know. I was hard rock. So was your father. I got into the car the other day. Your father had metal playing.
No.
I swear.
He can't hear anymore. He's old.
Yeah, come on, man. That's right.
That's my favorite video. You have to send that to me because
absolutely.
I'm gonna redo it. You had enough time to TikTok. You have enough time to work 8 hours a day.
I figured you'd like that one. So, he was misgendered. They kept calling him a girl.
He doesn't look like a girl, I'll tell you that. But maybe because you were crying, they thought you had your period. Oh wait, boys get periods too. Never mind. This world is fucked up, and our pets have.
Can you imagine sending him to war? Can you imagine if that Chinese
I have to go to war for 8 hours a day?
Those bullets are real. Those bullets are real. They're gonna hurt me.
There's no internet.
I mean, I can't Snapchat this to my friends. Can you imagine him going to war? to defend this country. Could you imagine? Well,
You know what? They should make a war just to defend them and see if they'll go. That's it. War against crybabies. Go fight.
Oh, Bobby, you missed it. You missed it. And I can't play it again. You're gonna have
Well,
to.
you can watch the show because no
You
one
can
else
watch
does.
the-
Let 'em
You
watch
can
it.
watch the show on Rumble or YouTube, and you'll see it there. All right. Well, Babylon B. All this trans talk and stuff. Babylon B, who I love, and I hope that they don't cut this out of our YouTube. I don't think that I infringed on their rights. I give them full credit.
Don't show any TV show on this show. We're done.
No, I'm not showing a TV show. Food shopping, too much shit on the shelves. Well, they did. You remember the controversy about the M&Ms, that they were changing all the M&Ms.
Now we have none.
Yeah. Well, here's the Babylon Bees take on that. Watch.
Ever since I was mass-produced in a factory, people have been trying to put labels on me. Nutrition labels, expiration dates, telling me I was biologically chocolate on the inside. But deep down, I knew I wasn't who they said I was. I am a Skittle.
Part of moving forward is accepting responsibility for your past.
The people at Mars Inc., they weren't bad people, they were just ignorant. They thought they knew what candy I was just because they knew my exact chemical composition, but we are not our biology.
We're holding ourselves accountable for the way in which accurate product descriptions caused hurt and pain to the trans candy community.
I just woke up one day and realized I am not defined by the chocolate center I was made with. I am, and always was, a delicious grape Skittle. And I'm proud of it.
So, Mars has committed to never again assigning an identity to the candy we produce. Instead, we'll let each candy decide for himself, or herself, or Skittle's self, who they really are. And whatever the candy says, we will falsify nutrition information to make it a reality. Now, reality can truly be whatever we want.
I'm just free. Free at last to be me, the real me.
We're even offering every peanut M&M a total nut removal, free of charge, because they're free to be themselves, nuts or no nuts.
Well, I hate to get the one that thinks it's an asshole. Babylon B is getting sued, just so you know. 1,000%, we're never going to see them again. I am shit-filled candy. Great. That was wonderful.
But didn't they once have jelly beans that tasted like
you still do, but you know what you're getting yourself into.
Okay. Oh yeah.
It's on the bag. It's like wearing a label. But I have a dress on.
I love the nut removal. Listen, if you want to have some fun, go to the Babylon B.
Should be. See,
yes.
if they were smart M&Ms, they would do that, and then they just come out with a whole new line of candies, and everyone would get to pick what they wanted in their bag.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there's no humor anymore. Well, you know that.
Yeah, when I just said it the other day, I'm watching these commercials, I'm like, but who does this and who approves it and who sits at a round table? Because the only one is the commercial for the insurance. You're like your parents.
Oh yeah, I love that one. Oh my
God! By
God,
far the best. Whoever, I want to be their best friend.
Absolutely.
Whoever writes those commercials, I have the whole collection saved. That's all I have saved is those commercials. That's it.
They're great.
Why is your phone number written on your garbage can? Because you can never be too safe.
You don't need to print the internet. I always think of you whenever I see that one. We don't print the internet. Oh my God. All right, let's see what else we got. Tommy Bellato's here. Okay. Yes, trans M&Ms, Tommy. That's exactly what that was all about. All right. Well, Well, to get to some more serious stuff, I don't know if you know that Hunter Biden is suing the owner of the computer store for sharing his laptop. They made a big press conference, big press announcement. And Mac is the guy's name. He was
Not the
on.
computer.
What's that?
I said not the computer, the guy.
Right, exactly. His name is Mac. Like, I did it. I never put that together. Very good. Well, he gave an interview about what Hunter is charging to be false. Watch.
Joining us now is John Paul Mac Isaac, the owner of the computer repair shop in Delaware. Let me start with you. You've seen the letters from Hunter Biden's attorney to the DOJ and the Attorney General of Delaware requesting an investigation into you. I want to start with the facts, then we'll talk law. On the facts, Mr. Mac Isaac, he says you've given conflicting accounts. Did you say you weren't sure if it was Hunter Biden who left the laptop there?
Hunter Biden came into my shop. He came in with 3 liquid damage laptops. I explained to him the data recovery process, explained to him the 90-day abandonment procedure, and he signed that document allowing me access.
Pause that.
I can't pause it.
Watch that closely. That man looks like a robot. Look at his eyes. He looks like, this is fake. He looks like a mannequin, and his eyeballs are moving. Like
his eye, he's got a stick.
That is not a real person.
It's a real person.
No, it's not. Look at his, that's like a small wonder. That is not a real person. Look at that. It looks like a.
Joining us now is John Paul Mac Isaac, the owner of the computer repair shop in Delaware. Let me start with you. You've seen the letters from Hunter Biden's attorney to the DOJ and the Attorney General of Delaware requesting an investigation into you. I want to start with the facts, then we'll talk law. On the facts, Mr. Mac Isaac, he says you've given conflicting accounts. Did you say you weren't sure if it was Hunter Biden who left the laptop there?
Hunter Biden came into my shop. He came in with 3 liquid damage laptops. I explained to him the data recovery process, explained to him the 90-day abandonment procedure, and he signed that document allowing me access to those drives. Everything else that's being said in that letter is absolutely ridiculous.
Now, Biden's attorneys suggested the material on the hard drive was manipulated, and they note that you yourself raised concerns about manipulation of the data. What do you make of that?
Well, I knew that there has been multiple attempts throughout the last couple of years since a copy of the laptop ended up in other people's hands, which I had no control over. I knew that there was a potential of somebody trying to sneak a rooster past the sunrise or try to sneak something in there to kind of muddy the waters. So that's why I kept another copy that I made at the same time that I made the first copy. It was a copy I gave to my father to give to the FBI back in October of 2019 to alert them of this laptop and the criminality on it. And that copy has remained untouched.
And I assume no inconsistencies between what you've seen publicly and what you have, correct?
I mean, there's been a lot of people out there reporting that there's been fake data. I have yet to see actual fake data off of a copy that has the integrity of the copy that we had.
There's no question that Hunter consented to it. He signed the authorization, and everything was explained to him.
And I should say New York Magazine says that they've seen a copy of that agreement.
Yes, he brought the computer here. I know he did. Trump built me. Are you serious?
Yeah, well, that
is not a real person.
He's a real person, and it looks like the Mona Lisa picture where his eyes are moving. Yeah, that's true. Colleen says he's blind, which would make sense, right? Hunter Biden would bring up
one of the poor Republicans that don't have a lot of money. We're like, here, let's build a robot. It's fantastic. But we're going to put him on the news and we're going to expose Hunter Biden. One eyeball's going to go that way. You didn't see this?
Yeah, he's been all over TV for a long time.
Obviously. He's been around for 900 years. It's not real. They built him in 1762.
Mommy wants to know if you think he's a deep fake. She thinks he's an AI. He does look weird. He's one of us.
He's like Johnny 5. I am Johnny 6.
Oh, that's not nice, making fun of him. No, he does. He is.
I'm not making fun of him.
I know you're not.
I seriously do not think he's a real human being.
He's a real person. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Robot.
Looks like the guy from Mr. Deeds. Crazy eyes. Hi, John. Oh yeah. Well, and of course the one that's exposing this. As calling it into question whether or not he's an actual human.
Look, I just became a conspiracist. Just like that.
I'm laughing so much I'm crying. My makeup is running. Oh gosh. Well,
I need that guy's name because I want to do a thorough investigation of where he was born, and not it's going to be on a table in the basement of some laboratory. I guarantee you.
Thanks, Mom. Yes, I know. She's making me laugh so much I'm crying and my makeup is running. I didn't put the waterproof mascara on. Well, so this one we can talk over, Jen. Hunter's laptop, and they're lying and covering up. And guess what? And everybody, look at the top of the comments for the link that I put in the comments. And I want you to click that link. I Googled.
Not now. Don't click it now because we have 14 viewers. Click it later.
Click it later. I Googled Joe Biden's lies throughout history, and PolitiFact came up. And this is just two of the 2 pages. These are just 2 instances of the 2 pages of lies PolitiFact has posted about Joe Biden. So, that fact checked Joe Biden and found that the statement.
Wait, hold on. Colleen Mahoney just told me he's really blind in real life. Now I feel bad.
He is. But listen.
I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that.
You said that.
Oh, I didn't hear him. So then how does he know it was Hunter Biden that came there with the laptop?
But that's what I'm saying. Hunter Biden searched high and low for a blind guy to work on his laptop.
I didn't know he was blind. You know I don't pay attention. I have ADD.
It's all right. It's okay. Listen, he was a
look. Everyone feels like shit now.
He's a peculiar looking dude. And that's what
now
it was.
I feel bad.
Listen, he did his job. He knew he was able to disseminate, what was on the laptop and know that it was problematic. And
now that's going to be their thing. He's blind.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Hunter Biden found a blind technician to fix his laptop.
And a blind technician is going against them. Yeah. So this is it's a shit show all around. So
all around.
New ones start coming.
Oh my God. Let's see. Great. Now I feel like crap.
My husband does because he's just
oh my God, so much compassion. How does he know if the computer is on? I think that we know that there are many people who are handy capable, even though they have
identified as having eyesight, Dad.
Apparently, he had enough eyesight to know that Hunter Biden had secrets on his laptop that had to be shared with the FBI. So, just in case anybody doesn't understand the Hunter Biden situation,
I think everyone understands it.
It was water damage. So what Hunter wanted him to do was download what was there because he couldn't get into it and put it on a hard drive. He actually brought the hard drive back into the store for the guy so that the guy could download the hard drive. So Hunter went away with all the information on that computer downloaded on the hard drive. But then he never paid the guy and he never came back for the computer.
How do you know things are ready?
Was that?
You're blind. There's no braille.
Well, you know what? I know. I believe it or not. I know.
You know what? Unless they put a little keypad on top of the keypad, and
they have apps that read what it reads it out loud. It transcribes whatever you're looking at. So, I'm sure he knows his way around the keys and whatever else. And I don't think he's 100%. Colleen says he's blind, not deaf. I don't think he's fully blind. And photos, yes, but it describes, that's what alt tags are for, is to describe photos. He must have dropped it in the jacuzzi when he was with the hooker smoking crack. I think it's probably the truth. Oh my God.
Well, anyway, with some laced crack. All these poor kids that try something once get killed with fentanyl. He's still living.
He survived. He's like the cockroaches. Well, so anyway, go in the comments. At the very, very first comment, you're going to see that link to Politico, and you can see all the fact checking that Politico did on Joe Biden. And they are 2 pages, maybe 3 pages long, but nobody in the news has ever reported on the fact that everything that this president is saying is a lie. But they call Donald Trump the big liar. This is the thing that drives me absolutely insane. Absolutely. Yeah. All right.
All right, guys, I get it. Now everyone went from making fun. Now everyone's giving all the small details. Yes, I get it. I'm going to hell. I understand now.
That he used
It's not a robot. He's just a blind man.
He's legally, but he can see. All right. Okay. Well, let's get off
this topic.
Let's go from a blind man to a liar to the biggest liar, Jen, your friend. A group of people from New York's 3rd Congressional District made their way on a bus to Washington, D.C. today to demand that McCarthy remove George Santos. Watch.
There's about 45 constituents here from District 3 that are on the bus behind me. They are heading to Capitol Hill momentarily, and I can tell you that there are actually Democrats and Republicans on this bus. They are heading to Capitol Hill today to host a rally, and they will also be going directly to George Santos himself, as well as to Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy. They're going to be delivering a petition with more than 1,500 signatures, and they are calling for an immediate vote to expel George Santos from Congress. These constituents tell us they are angry, they are frustrated, and they say he is not fit to serve.
Oh, you caught me.
Is that a crack pipe?
No, it's not a crack pipe. I don't smoke crack.
That's what Joe Biden's son said.
Oh, that's called
George Santos is going to identify as a congressman. Is he? Yeah, for the rest of his life, so it doesn't matter because he gets.
Joe Greco. I saw Santos.
Oh, yes. And then his mom died again because she was in the plane with him. And there was a backfire.
Avoid no Democrats are secret Republicans, but there are a lot of Republicans that are really Democrats. That's the truth, unfortunately. Well, anyway, so George Santos, who's become now a household word. I don't know anybody that doesn't know who George Santos is, and not for the right reasons. But you've always said it, Jen. You always said
all I know is for 2 years when he fucked me over, I said it.
Yep, you were telling the whole world, and nobody wanted to listen, and they elected him anyway.
Nobody wanted to listen to me as I investigated for my 2 weeks in my house, and I should have been a detective.
You certainly should have been a detective.
Now they're like, DeVolder's his last name. I knew this 2 years ago, and I told you all of this.
Well, maybe you should become a news reporter, because at least you do your digging. I mean, the whole thing is he was running on the campaign trail the whole time. Now, one reporter looked into him. That's what's happening to journalism.
Well, I didn't either. Well, it took me a few not getting paid, but I looked into him after 2 months finally.
Yeah. Well,
they don't care. They get paid nothing. What do they care?
Well, here's the thing. There's a big call to remove him, and Congress can remove a sitting member of Congress.
It's enough.
But me personally, I think that sets a really bad precedent, because if you have the Congress vote on whether somebody can serve after they were elected, then they could take anybody out, because we all know you could pay somebody.
What happens if it was a Democrat that did it?
Same thing. No, and listen, say Maxine Waters, who we're going to have coming up in a minute, and AOC and Ilhan Omar and the socialists and all those people.
They had a whole big thing on her.
Yeah, but they didn't remove her from her seat.
because she said things. She didn't do things. He stole money from a vet.
Well, they're all allegations until
scheme going on.
They have to be proven, and that's what I'm saying. Let the investigation go forward.
Proven. No, you can't remove anybody until it's proven. Or that I agree with.
But they could. But that's the whole thing. Is Congress is designed.
You shouldn't.
Right.
You should not, because listen, I've been accused of things in my life that winds up it wasn't real. I get an apology.
Yeah.
You can't remove somebody until you have facts.
That's right. Until they're convicted. Let the people. And even then, right? We've seen members of Congress get convicted of BS. And
look at Michael Grimm. He got put in jail and done. He was convicted.
Right. That's right.
But if someone said, "Oh, he paid someone off the bucks," you can't just kick him out because of that. No, that's absolutely not true. If a guy can rob a bank and be let out on the streets the next day and not lose his freedom.
Yeah, Adrian Monk, I love it. Well, but that's the thing, is that I think that it would set a horrible precedent, and if it's kind of like I'm somebody that believes that somebody, if they were sick and dying and they wanted to take their own life, they should be able to take their own life. However, the way the world is now, you see what's happening in Canada, where they're recommending people have euthanasia because they're a certain age, or they're a veteran, or they're disabled. And that government can do that. So you have to always err on the side of caution. You don't want to give too much power to the government to be able to exercise control over your life like that. And I think that if they remove Santos without an investigation and a
trial, but there is enough information. I don't know why they're waiting so long.
Yeah. And you're right, Bobby. They should remove Schiff because, and how about Swalwell, who we know was sleeping with that Chinese spy. I mean, but again, you have to be convicted, in my opinion. But you don't it
has to be proven. I think it has to be proven, so transparently proven that you can see. But it is now. But listen, let me tell you something. The FEC and all of that, they all know what's going on. They have it. There's trails, and I know there's trails. I've seen it first.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to get convicted.
Oh, it's done.
It's so easy.
I guarantee you, you've heard it here, all 6 of you. It is. He's done.
He's done. But the process needs to play out. All right. So speaking of done, guess who else is done? The Democrats don't even want her. Our Vice President Kamala Harris. The New York Times had an article about how the Democrats don't want her to run for president. Watch.
Vice President Kamala Harris, who made history when she became the first woman, first African American, and first Asian American to ever be elected as VP. But in the last few years, VP Harris hasn't exactly wowed voters. Her approval rating has been lingering in the 30 percentile for the last year, with a recent 538 poll seeing her disapproval at 52.5% and her approval at 39%. That's quite a drop in numbers from her peak of 55.2% in April 2021. Regardless of this, if Joe Biden does decide to step down as leader, does the vice president have what it takes to be the president? According to the New York Times, she doesn't have the backing of her own party. The article reads, but the painful reality for Ms. Harris is that in private conversations over the last few months, dozens of Democrats in the White House, on Capitol Hill, and around the nation, including some who helped put her on the party's 2020 ticket, said she had not risen to the challenge of proving herself as a future leader of the party, much less the country. Even some Democrats, whom her own advisors referred reporters to for supportive quotes, confided privately they had lost hope in her. These doubts, according to the New York Times, have created a quiet panic for some Democrats who question what would happen if President Biden did decide against a second term. Most Democrats interviewed, who insisted on anonymity to avoid alienating the White House, said flatly that they did not think Ms. Harris could win the presidency in 2024.
Man, you can't see it. I can't. A mop has more personality than her. She has zero personality. She's when something's so dry, you forget about it. Her own country has forgotten about her. Neither side cares about her. They don't care. That's really sad. AOC would win over her.
Oh, God forbid. The reason why they put her on the damn ticket was to gain votes. They put her on the ticket because that's what they do with hiring. With they know.
LL Cool J's here.
Hey, baby brother.
He was on the Grammys too.
Yeah, he was probably there yesterday. Oh, good to see you, Tony. And finally, we had Chip Roy grilling Maxine Waters on her position on socialism.
I've got one question for the ranking member. Ranking Member Waters, in a 2008 hearing, you said, quote, and guess what this liberal will be all about? This liberal will be all about socializing, would be about basically taking over the government and the government running all of your companies, end quote. It's a simple question. Do you stand by that statement?
Simple answer. I am here today in this Rules Committee because we're taking up time with basically a non-issue. First of all, you claim that socialism has engulfed this country, that it keeps creeping, it's going to take over private businesses, et cetera, et cetera. That is not happening. We're in a democracy that we're trying very much to save and to not have disrupted, undermined in the way that...
So then reclaiming my time, the gentlelady denounces your previous statement then and do not accept that previous statement that you think you would take over these private businesses? I'm not a socialist.
I'm a capitalist. And I commit to you that I am here to save Social Security, to save Medicare, to save seniors and veterans. And for some of you who have adopted certain kind of ways that you support what you now claim is socialism, I'm here to say to you, come on.
So this liberal will be all about socializing, will be all about basically taking over and the government running all of your companies. You disagree with that? You now denounce that statement.
I am not a socialist.
Did anybody see the woman in the back scratching herself everywhere and then picking her nails? Sorry.
What a liar. What
lawyer is not even the, but
it was in the paper. It was her words. It was a direct quote from her.
Did you get anything out of that though? Like
absolutely not. She was deflecting all over the place. She was trying to give a
I noticed the woman in the back picking her hair, her chest, her nail.
Colleen says your skin looks awesome, Jen.
My
little brother is crazy as always. I love him. He's hysterical. That's I think to Chip Roy, John Greco to Chip Roy. She sounds like she's strung out. She was trying to think up her lies as she was saying them. She was trying to
teleprompter there to tell them what to lie about.
It's like, but you could see
people are in the back going like this.
Yeah.
Socialism. That's exact. Watch that again later. You watch the show again, all two of you.
Yeah, watch it again. Well, she was speaking so slowly because she was trying to spin it. She was trying to figure out how she was going to get out of it. But I think that the most brilliant thing that they got out of it was her saying, I'm not a socialist, I'm a capitalist. Well, good.
You're a Republican.
Yeah, I'm glad you're a capitalist. Go home to your district and tell them that, because I bet you 90% of the people in your district are capitalists as well. So, at any rate, yeah.
But capitalists, you want to capitalist is a bad thing? I mean,
no, capitalist is a good thing.
I know. That's what I said. I'm like, wait a second.
You're a capitalist nation, a free opportunity to create your own business.
Now we're just capitalizing off the taxpayers' dollars, which is us.
Socialism is where the government takes over all the businesses. And what they're saying, basically, they put forward a bill denouncing the horrors of socialism, and one third of Congress voted against that bill or
It was
abstained.
a socialist act.
83 Democrats refused to vote against socialism.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but
Look
think
what they
about
did to
that.
us for 3 years.
That's 1/3 of Congress. If we keep going in that direction, socialism is indeed going to embrace.
So we should leave George Santos in Congress?
What? No.
Oh, now you're trying to turn, Leticia.
No. Listen. I'm going back to, if he gets convicted, he's got to go, right?
But they're going to have another election, right?
Then they'll have a special election, and they probably already have somebody who they want to put there, which is why the Republicans in his district are calling for his resignation and blah 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 blah. Drug dealers are capitalists, indeed they are. That's her constituency. Yeah, well, let's
Liberals
see.
hate them because they don't get their tax dollars from them.
Well, let's see what happens. I think that, again, we didn't see that anywhere. She changed her position, 100%, but it's okay. Sorry you weren't here, Ralph. Watch us again on YouTube or on Rumble. But at any rate, we're over as usual. I thought today for sure we get out of here on time. So any last words, Jenny?
No.
All right. Everybody share this show. Let other people see it. Let's get these numbers up. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you on Tuesday.